Good morning, Debs.
Good morning, John. How are you going?
Welcome to the JW channel. We're back at Fitness First. You've got a bit of a story. We were interviewing Katie not so long ago, and she was talking about her then 750 days straight in the gym. She's piled a whole bunch of days on since then. But you're an amateur bodybuilder. Is that what it is?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't call myself definitely more amateur than the bodybuilder part, only because I'm training for my first show, which is going to be in March 2020. So I don't like to say I am a bodybuilder until I've actually stepped on stage. So no, bodybuilder in training, not officially got that title yet. And secondly, nowhere near as hardcore as Katie. I definitely haven't done 750 days in a row. I've definitely had a few rest days in between.
Yep. So, you know, we all come to the gym for different reasons. We've all got different goals. You're a pretty fit-looking guy, family guy, couple of kids. What made you think to go down to this particular discipline of bodybuilding?
Yeah, look, a lot of my friends, my co-workers, even family members all do some sort of sport and fitness, and it's usually involved with some kind of team sport like indoor soccer, cricket or football or anything like that. Given my sort of hectic work schedule with travel, entertaining, and also family, I'm quite a hands-on dad as well. I don't necessarily have the luxury of going to a Saturday organised sport game.
Yeah.
And secondly, I definitely can't commit to once, twice a week night training with the boys either.
Yeah.
So the gym was basically the next best thing. I love getting up early. I'm often here by 4:35 a.m. It's somewhere where I can push myself, and I'm only challenging myself. And the reason why I went into bodybuilding was basically that if you kind of compare someone else who's in the local footy team or something, their goal would be, well, let's win the premiership or let's get into the grand final.
Yeah.
Training by yourself at the gym, well, you can do that for years, but there's no real sort of end goal other than lose weight.
That's right.
You can lose weight, you can get toned, you can push sort of max reps, but bodybuilding is sort of that next step in the evolution of, I guess, slamming yourself at the gym. So the thing is, it's not just the 90 minutes you spend at the gym. It's the 7 meals a day that you've got to consume outside of the gym. And
That's the other part, because I don't know, maybe it's always been this way, but people's schedules are right down to the minute these days. You're a pretty highly organised guy. You've got the family responsibilities, the work responsibilities, and they go way beyond 9 to 5 these days. And as you were saying, that at this point in time, you can't commit to a sort of team scenario sort of thing. So you're doing the next best thing that's going to give you some personal satisfaction and have a go at something. And that's what it means, to really have a go and have purpose in your training.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, what also motivates me a bit is that I don't feel not everyone can do it. They can't always commit to such a regimented kind of lifestyle, and sadly, the older you get, the harder that goal becomes as well. And now,
are you doing twice the work that you, or twice the effort, or whatever the twice is than when you were a 20-year-old, for example?
I would say it's about 12 times the effort, and about 20 times the discipline as well.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, 10 years ago, a colleague said, why don't you try your hand at bodybuilding? And this was pre-kids, pre-hectic work schedule, pre-basically the busyness of life. And I said, no, I can't do that, too busy.
Yeah.
I've got parties on the weekend. Playing cricket. Exactly, I've got other more mundane things. And now I look back and think, gee, why the hell didn't I do it 10 years ago when frankly, I think it would have been a lot easier to...
More sensible.
Prep. Yeah, exactly. I mean, every Sunday I've got to spend about 3 or so hours prepping, give or take about 42 different meals.
Really?
So just to make sure I'm all planned in for the week.
Yeah.
So my fridge at home looks like a giant sort of Chinese takeaway shop at the moment, just full of plastic containers with everything labelled. Basically meals from kind of Monday to Thursday, Friday to Sunday in the freezer, ready to go as well.
Tell us a little bit about your diet. where do you get your information from? Are you, I have a couple of simple things: unprocessed foods, zero sugar, low salt. I'm not really worried about carbs, but I'm looking for protein from eggs and stuff like that. I'm not anywhere near as much meat as I used to. What are you basing your diet on? Because your body needs very specific energy levels.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, this is for anyone competing for the first time, get a coach, basically. So I've got a coach by the name of Steve Bardo.
Yeah.
He's coached many amateur to professional bodybuilders. So I'm what I call one of his very small fry competitors compared to the other people in his stable.
Yeah.
So based on my height, my weight, my goals, he's calculated all my macronutrients.
Yeah.
And also given me a very kind of strict, not kind of, a very strict meal plan, which is right down to the gram, right down to the meal, basically almost right down to the time. Every meal I've got to have is give or take about 3 hours apart.
Yep.
And I really need to follow that to a T.
Wow.
Effectively. So I can vary it up in terms of, look, one day my protein source can be chicken breast, the other day it can be steak, the other day it can be turkey mince.
Yeah.
I experiment around a little bit with different marinades as well. And by marinades,
You've got to have taste for food.
Exactly.
Food.
When you're having the same food every day as well. So some days it'll be chili flakes, the other day it'll be salt and pepper.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not it's not mayonnaise, it's not fried chicken.
Because
it's
eating
like
is
that.
so psychological. With my ex, we used to make these massive meals, and somehow we'd stumble through them. It wasn't a good way to eat, but you're probably not looking at a lot of food on the plate. That must sort of weigh you down a little bit, saying, "Oh, here we go again." This is the struggle bit, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But what I really find hard is, I shouldn't say hard, it's more of a psychological challenge. Is a lot of my job is to entertain clients to go out to events.
Right, yeah.
Which is
Okay.
always full of champagne and really nice food.
Yeah.
So more often than not, I've got to take a lunchbox with me, either eat before or eat somewhere during, where no one can really see and ask too many questions.
Yeah.
And always turn down the free drink and free food.
Yeah.
That part isn't too bad, but it's also when you've got clients and partners saying, "Oh, why aren't you drinking? Oh, why aren't you eating? Let's go out to dinner. Let's keep kicking on." And I go, "Well, actually, I've got to have meal 7, and I've got to be in bed by about in 2 hours' time, because in 7 hours I've got to be at the gym to then work, and then to be at work 10 hours after that, basically." So it's a bit of a regimented kind of lifestyle, but one that I don't let sort of take over. I've still got to do my job. I've still got to keep up all my other commitments as well, including school drop-offs, pickups, and that sort of thing as well.
But I think times have changed. Back, the television show Mad Men, it really explored that they were rarely in the office. They were always whining and dining the clients and all that sort of stuff. And there's definitely a place for that in business. But I think they would, if you were saying like, "I'm training for this and this and this," they're going to have a completely different response to the old days of just a pussy or whatever sort of thing.
No, absolutely. And look, I think these days health is the new wealth, basically. Everyone who clients or partners or anyone, when I tell them that, well, first their question is, "Oh, well, why aren't you drinking?" And it's quite a not a negative tone, but just quite a they're just kind of questioning my motives in terms of.
To tell you the truth, I'm pretty sick and tired of it.
Oh, exactly. And once I turn around and say, "Well, I'm actually competing for my first bodybuilding comp in 6 or so months' time," they suddenly go, "Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah,
What does that involve?
that's right.
Awesome."
Yeah.
I really want to kind
it's
of get back
changing
to
the
gym
narrative
and do that as well.
But you know what? You could be really influencing people to go and consider a healthier life.
Oh, look, absolutely. And you know what? Your previous interviewee, Katie, is definitely inspirational. Every day when my alarm goes off at 4:15 or something, and I occasionally I do look at my Instagram feed. It's often Katie's selfie, which is saying day 800 and something.
Yeah.
And I think, okay, fine. If you can get up and slog it away, I better stop hitting snooze on the alarm and get my ass to the gym as well. So
Tell us, you've got this bodybuilder. Does he do all the measurements, the weights, the heights, and all that sort of thing, and puts it into a computer and it spits out a projected sort of routine for you to do?
no, not quite. Look, Steve's been around for a while, and given the advent, I suppose, of the internet, a lot of it's done remotely. He trains out of Fitness First in Hornsby. I think I've only really seen him about half a dozen times.
Really?
In terms of the measurement, it's more done on sort of weight now.
Yep.
Every week I've got to lose thereabouts 800 grams to about a kilo, but that's of pure fat only.
Yep.
And every few weeks I send him sort of progress photos and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He adjusts my diet accordingly, and in terms of the workouts, I'm writing them and doing them myself. I've got not a huge amount of experience in it, but I kind of know, I know what I'm doing on that front. I think as I get closer to the show, I'll probably train a little bit with Steve or another personal trainer here at Fitness First in Willoughby, just to fine tune some things. There are certain body parts which I'm weaker at, other ones which I'm stronger, and naturally you always tend to gravitate to the areas of the body in which you're stronger, because you tend to go harder. And
exactly. And I find that I've been concentrating this year a lot of work on my balance and legs, overdoing it. Why? Because skiing is a big thing. Also, I do a little bit of indoor rock climbing and things like that, and the legs are a really driving force. At the moment, we're coming into summertime, so I'm starting to concentrate on upper body strength for tennis and other sports, maybe a little bit of surfing this summer. Tell me about your family. What do they think of all of this?
Yeah, look, it's a combination of go Debs versus you're mad. Look, my wife's been supportive of it. She's a big foodie as well, so I think the hard part for her would be when we have people around and
the family
wines,
dinners and all that sort of stuff,
and the really nice foods there. I can't always enjoy in that. Food and celebrations, obviously, very social part of our lives these days. And also not being able to go out to dinner and that sort of thing as well. Purely because when you're not the one cooking, you don't know how much oil's in the food, you don't know how much salt's in there. You're definitely not going into a restaurant with a little weighing scale, otherwise people would think you're mad. So it's just navigating those sort of things. Also the kind of the workouts as well. But look, in terms of dinners, I try and make that quite a social thing and not let it overtake my life as well. I tend to still have my second last meal of the day, which is dinner with the family, and that's typically 100 grams of a lean meat. So it's typically like a steak or a chicken or anything like that, and that's something which the family would have anyway. So it's something I can cook together, coupled with a salad or some roast veggies on the side. And I have about 50 grams of rice, which is pretty easy to cook for myself. So it's not that far off in terms of what we would have had normally. It's more, the Friday night pizzas and that sort of thing, which I definitely can't, unfortunately, indulge in, which I definitely miss.
Man, that must be hard. Because I do love my pizza.
There's pizza, there's ramen, there's McDonald's, there's everything, and do you know what, after a long week where you've worked a 16-hour day, and some of my jobs also requires flying to Melbourne and Brizzy as well, when you have come off a 17-hour day, the last thing you want to eat is a salad and steak. You just want to have something really bad.
Just to get that taste and salt.
Just to keep going, and you don't want to sit over a stove or a fry pan just to make you 100 grams of protein. So there's a lot of discipline, there's a lot of preparation as well. Do you know what, the gym's the easy part, to be honest. Doing 90 minutes here is a bit of a walk in the park.
How many days a week do you go to the gym?
So I train at the moment 5 days a week, typically from Wednesday to Sunday, and Monday or Tuesday I'll usually fit in some sort of lunchtime session, which would be typically a shorter day.
Are you doing weights? Are you doing running? What are you doing?
Yeah, so it is purely resistance and weights based at the moment. As I get closer to the show to start stripping off that extra bit of fat, I'll have to start introducing some cardio.
Yeah.
But I do throughout the day, obviously, as we all do some incidental cardio. So I try and do between sort of 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. And that also, obviously adds to your overall
Do you have
calorie
one of those
deficit.
calorie counter watch type things? Or?
No, I don't actually. I use my phone, or
Yeah.
I generally know if I've sat in my office all day, I know that I haven't got my steps up. If I know I'm out with clients and moving around, I know I've definitely.
What sort of work do you do?
So I'm the commercial manager at Fox Sports. So I look after a lot of the direct partnerships, a lot of the strategic deals that the business does across the digital arm. So anything with the website, mobile apps, and streaming properties as well.
Which is the big new world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. TV is a big part of our business as well, but we don't sort of call it TV anymore. It's just all screen size, really.
Yeah, it's just it's literally another channel of distribution through thing.
Absolutely.
When is the big day?
Big day. Look, I don't know exactly. They haven't set the schedule. It's called Season A and Season B. Season A starts around February, March. And then Season B starts in around, I think, July, August, and then stops in November, December. That's purely because you can't comp prep all year. You probably go mad.
Well, they have a season, don't they?
They do.
I've watched Pumping Iron with Schwarzenegger and all that sort of stuff, and I think there's a terrific documentary on Netflix about cross-sport games, things like that.
There's quite a few. There's one on floating, there's one on
as you say, the body does need a rest from this intense activity sort of thing. And I imagine exactly the same with the bodybuilders. Tapering in swimming, for example, whether people are going to the Olympics or World Champs or even the local meeting, they will have an end goal and a date that they're going to be performing on, and they train for that. What's going to happen to you? You've got to get the body beautiful. What do they do to get the body beautiful for the day on stage?
Oh, look, beautiful is a very subjective term depending on who you ask. Look, for me, it will be, I'm currently 69 kilos. I started this journey at 76. According to coach, I've got to get down to low 60s. My current body fat's about 13-14%. I've got to get down to single digits, basically.
Oh.
So that's, some would say it's kind of extreme, but it's not something you maintain for week in, week out.
That's right.
For that,
it's the sharp
stage.
edge.
Correct, yeah. And look, these days there are quite a lot of shows almost backed up week after week.
Yeah.
So
you can carry that form across the 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Exactly, yeah. It's not like days gone by where there was only one show every 6 months, and if you miss that show, well then.
Where do they hold it?
Look, there's different federations. You've got ICN, you've got the WBFF, depending on where. They often have them in, there's one at the University of New South Wales in their big auditorium there. Chatswood Town Hall often do.
Chatswood
as
Town
well.
Hall.
They do. And
that's mark me down for tickets there.
oh, look out, John! I'll see you there. And look, as you get up to kind of more the WBFF, which I think is the more serious part of town. That's when they book out the Star Casino in Gold Coast, where you've got a couple of hundred bums on seats at a full sellout. With some serious heavy hitters there. Would love to get there one day, but that's at least a few years away. And that's the thing. Look, you can't. This is one sport where you can't fake it. You can't get it surgically enhanced. You can't get it transplanted. All you can do is just train and eat, and it's got to be fine-tuned over time. It's definitely not overnight. It's definitely not. For some people, it's definitely not. Doesn't happen in a year, but over months and years, definitely.
Well, we're going to come back and interview you after the event too. How are you going to change between now and then? You're going to have to shave and get spray on tan and all that sort of stuff. You're going to keep the fantastic beard there, sort of thing. How do you think you're going to be changing as a person?
Oh, look, physically, yes. Funnily enough, yes, I do need to get a spray tan, but that's I guess just to even out the skin tone. The beard's going to go. This is just because it's been a hectic week at work, and I purely just haven't had time to shave. So that would go. In terms of a person, look, I've just got to just remember that this comp is literally just going to be a couple of minutes on stage, and it's been months of work leading up to it, but it's not the be all and end all. Look, at the end of the day, I've got a loving family, I've got friends, I've got a career, and those are kind of the things which matter more. This is, I guess, just a personal goal which I want to tick, and hopefully, touch wood, if I do well, I'd love to do another show. If I don't do well, maybe I'll keep slogging away till I get better at it. But look, at least I can always look back and say, you know what, I actually competed in a professional or semi-professional bodybuilding show. And when my kids are in their teens or 20s, I can at least say, you know what, Dad genuinely had a six-pack at one point. So,
look, I think it's a terrific goal, and you're going to achieve some really terrific things. And you know, the thing about being down here at Willoughby is I look at you, and you look at Katie, and Katie looks at Tom, and Tom looks at somebody else, and it's like a feeding frenzy of motivation down here. And there's a real camaraderie, and I imagine it's going to be the same in the bodybuilding world. Give us 3 things for somebody who's thinking about getting into bodybuilding.
3 things. Firstly, to your point though, yes, there is definitely a community here at Willoughby, and even yourself, John. I see you balancing on the Bosu and things like that. I think, oh, geez, I really should work on my balance and start getting into skiing. So no, everyone looks to someone else for motivation.
Apparently, I'm the champion. That's the only thing that I'm the champion of.
You got to be a champion of something here. Yeah. Everyone's a master of their domain in some way, shape, or form. Look, 3 things would be: you're all in, or you're all out. There's no half-assing it. I had a very frank conversation with my coach yesterday, and he said every single athlete who's come to him and said, "Oh, I'll give it a go," 100% of them have never made it, basically. Yeah. It's got to be, I'll do it, I'll follow the meal plan, I'll follow the workout, and I won't deviate from the plan at all, because it just unravels. Yeah. Straight after that, so it's that level of commitment. Secondly, just figure out your why, in terms of why you want to do it. Do you want to impress your girlfriend? Do you want to get jacked? Do you want to make this a career? Yeah. Find out your why and what your purpose is, because that's what's going to get you out of bed at 4, 5 in the morning. That's what's going to make you have meal 7 at the end of the day, when all you want to do is eat something bad, as well. And look, in terms of 3 would be, don't let it rule your life as well. This is just one of the other many kind of things that you slot into the hubbub of life outside of sort of work and family and everything else. Don't let it consume you. It's got to fit in with your lifestyle. Yes, it'll your priorities will shift, but don't let it be your absolute #1 priority at the detriment of everything else.
Terrific. Well, thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Good luck on the day. We'll be coming back when Katie hits 800. We'll be coming to see her. We'll be coming to the show up there at Chatswood.
Well, look, I reckon by the time Katie hits day 1000, I should be show ready by then. So now that I've done this interview, I absolutely have to make the show, because it's out there on the internet. It has to be true, right? So
Section 53 of the trade practices.
Exactly. No, awesome. Thanks, John. Appreciate it, and love your YouTube channel.
Thank you.
It's awesome being wedged in between sunrises, Katie, sunrises, and hopefully a couple of other more inspiring people at Fitness First Willoughby as well.
Thanks for joining the JW channel for a chat.
Well, thanks, John.